Checking back in with Quincy City Council President, Councilor at Large Noel DeBona for an update of the September 18th City Council meeting. Hey, Noel, how are you?
Good morning, Joe. How you doing this morning?
We're doing okay. The rain is done. The sun is shining, and we're looking forward to some great weather this week.
That's a great thing to hear, Joe. I agree with you, and I'm happy that the sun came out today because it rained heavy yesterday, and obviously on Saturday with the hurricane kind of coming through here. But Sunday was really nice, and now we're back to a decent, nice day. So thank you for the update, Joe.
That's my pleasure. Happy to bring good news. Any good news from the City Council meeting?
Well, we started off the meeting last night with dedicating the meeting to Richard Mead. Just all the work that he's done in the city, a community activist with youth sports over the years, planning board director. He was also our chairperson for the planning board as he passed away on August 1st. We just dedicated the meeting to him last night, which was very good dedication. And we started off the meeting that way. I want to thank his family and all friends that we really miss him here around the city and obviously in the planning department. So it was a big impact on Quincy. It would be very difficult thinking that he's been through so many administrations and saw how different leaders and different administrations and coworkers had kind of run the city. So, it's going to be very hard to replace that type of book of knowledge.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a very nice tribute for his family, for sure.
Be great. Yes. We started off the meeting with a broadband update. Just, it's been a long process, obviously, from our ward counselor in Ward 3, Ian Kane, had brought it about years ago. It's probably been about 5 or 6, 7 years now. So we got a little update from Chris Walker, Chief of Staff, and we'll be moving into the right direction for that. I know a lot of folks have been talking about that and talking about broadband speed and stuff, and it's coming. It's just, unfortunately, Joe, government takes a long time sometimes. And we try to get things about, and there's a lot of regulation, and there's a lot of different channels of government it's got to go through, and it's unfortunate that we haven't been able to really, but we're close. We're getting close. So it's great to see the update with that. A really good one from Mayor Koch and also Councilor Phelan, Chuck Phelan from Ward 5, is the overlay, basically, district of an over 55 housing possibly happening in the Eastern Nazarene campus. I don't want to go into speculation with anything, and I don't want to go into, because I don't know enough about their financial status over there, but we're just using a proactive approach that just in case something happens with Eastern Nazarene College, that there possibly could be a amending chapter 375 zoning, which is the creation of this over 55 housing. One of the biggest things around the city, Joe, that I hear consistently, and we're having an issue right now, is housing over 55 throughout the city. Folks are having a hard time getting into, obviously, senior housing and really downsizing their early nesters. They don't have the children at home anymore living there, and they want to downsize. And there really isn't a lot available in the city of Quincy. I call it availability because folks are, HUD and our Quincy Housing Authority only has so much, and thousands of the Artery and Moorings and all these other places. Believe it or not, we're still don't have enough housing for over 55. So this is going into committee. This is going to go in the ordinance committee, and we'll have more discussion about this at a future date. But I think it's a good proactive approach, not only for Eastern Nazarene, but also other areas around the city that have big developments that may not succeed as we move forward. So looking forward to more discussions in the city council.
Okay, so how would it work, Noel? Would it be if ENC were to sell their property, the city would buy it?
That looks like it could happen, and it could, and we don't know, but we're just trying to put something in there just in case some other. See, the biggest thing, obviously, that I hear on the streets every day, Joe, is overdevelopment, and it's the number one pressing issue out there, especially today. And you have to revitalize the city in the certain pockets of the city. In this particular area, it's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood. It's landlocked into a neighborhood. It's in the middle of it. And we kind of want to preserve it for something that is a need, and the need for the city is over 55 housing. So I don't think a lot of people disagree with over 55 housing. You get less resistance, I guess I could say, with that. You say, well, we're going to turn it into over 50. Oh, that's great. But folks, it's a pressing issue out there of overdevelopment. Now you have to do smart development. I don't like blight properties. I don't like blight buildings, and you have to revitalize that. But folks want a little break with the construction that's going on in the city. They're saying that it's creating more traffic, and it's creating more delays, and it's the commute time. Like, for instance, me going to work, and the kids going back to school in September, and the folks not vacationing. So different times of the year, you're going to get more traffic. And so we're trying to alleviate that, and we're trying to put things and measures forward that are a proactive approach rather than reactive, be proactive. So there's one more discussion on this, Joe, and we'll have more discussion from the mayor as well as Councilor Phelan on what actually is going to transpire. But it's just put on the agenda to last night, and we're going to go in. It's going into committee, which is great. The next resolve that came in is urging the DPU to basically put us in Quincy into a municipal aggregation program. Boston has this. We're right around 39 cents. I could get down to possibly 19 cents. Could be up to 70% savings throughout the city. Would help folks that are on the national grid in these energy measures, I guess I could say, and this would help out a lot of people. I believe of the 351 communities, I believe 19 are in this. We'd like to be one. We want to speed up the approval process. Again, there's a lot of channels of government, unfortunately, which we could just do it and press a button and say, okay, we're gonna do this, but it's got to go through the proper channels. So we got this on. We did this a few years ago, and we're still in the process. So we reintroduced. Councilor Andronico and Councilor Kane reintroduced this, which is great. And then we're going to get a speed track on this. And that is going into the oversight committee, and it also got passed to go into oversight.
Okay, so as I understand it, the city kind of buys energy in bulk, and then residents can buy it from the city.
That looks to be the case. And Boston does it. And they talked about the cost savings, and cost savings will be for the taxpayers of the city, for our residents of the city, which would be huge. This is going to go into oversight, and we'll have really more discussion on this. It was not a lot of discussion last night with this, so we'll be putting it into committee as well. So a couple of good agenda items that we can put into committee and really discuss, and then go into detail with at a later date. And that's how it works up there. Joe, is we sometimes have to pass them to put them into committee. We have to refer them to committee, and that's why we have committees to do a lot of the vetting for. And the discussions, they're longer discussions. They take a little bit more, obviously, time, and we put it into committees, and obviously have committee chairpersons that will run those meetings. Dave McCarthy is our ordinance, and Chuck Phelan is our finance. So those two guys I look for to put in their committees, and they pull them out on their will. I don't get too involved. I kind of get involved with the dates that we should probably do, but I don't get involved how they want to run it. I put a lot of time and commitment into letting those two guys run those two particular committees. And when they think, and they have experience, both of them. I've served with Dave on the school committee as well as now on the council for, I think we're up to 8 years with him. And Chuck Phelan I've known for quite a while, and he's been, in the 90s, and then worked for the city. I worked with him in IT when I was a counselor and on the school committee, and I have a lot of faith in both of them to bring these out when they think it's the right time. So I don't get too involved. I just try to make sure that the date's correct and coincide with what we're trying to do up at the city council as well, with the regular scheduled meetings.
Okay, very good.
That was really it for last night, Joe, and we're just looking forward to some good weather. And that'll be good. I'm glad that the sun is out, and it was raining very heavy yesterday, Joe. Everywhere I went, I had to pull out the umbrella out of the car and walk around. But today is a better day, Joe. What are we looking for? We're looking for in the 70s for weather-wise for the next, couple days.
Yeah, looks very nice, clear September weather for a few days here.
That's great. That's great. All good stuff for the city.
When's the next council meeting, Noel?
Next council meeting, October 2nd. And that'll be at 6:30, and then October 16th, which is 2 weeks from then.
Okay, we'll catch up on October 3rd, if that's okay.
We most certainly will, Joe. Thank you so much for all your time and all your hard work over at QATV.
Thank you. You too, Noel. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you.